Deans, members of Management Council, Registrar of the University, the Honorable Chief Guest, the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, and the Honorable Vice Chancellor.
गोंडवाना विद्यापीठ गडचिरोली 7वा दीक्षांत समारंभ। या समारंभाचे अध्यक्ष गोंडवाना विद्यापीठाचे सन्माननीय कुलगुरू डॉक्टर एन.व्ही. कल्याणकर सर। या समारंभात ज्यांचं दीक्षांत भाषण होणार आहे असे प्रमुख अतिथी पद्मविभूषण सन्माननीय डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर साहेब, राजीव गांधी विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान आयोग मुंबई। या समारंभाला गोंडवाना विद्यापीठाचे प्रकुलगुरू आदरणीय डॉक्टर चंद्रशेखर भुसारी सर, विद्यापीठाचे कुलसचिव सन्माननीय डॉक्टर ईश्वर मोहुर्ले सर, विद्यापीठाच्या व्यवस्थापन परिषदेचे सर्व सन्माननीय सदस्य, विद्यापीठाचे सन्माननीय अधिष्ठाता आणि विद्यापीठाच्या परीक्षा व मूल्यमापन मंडळाचे संचालक, ही सर्व मान्यवर मंडळी या मंचावर आसनस्थ होणार आहेत। अतिथींचं आगमन या ठिकाणी झालेलं आहे।
A very warm and cordial welcome to all the dignitaries to this 7th convocation of Gondwana University, Gadchiroli.
समारंभाचे प्रमुख अतिथी, अध्यक्ष आणि सर्व सन्माननीय मान्यवर यांनी या मंचावर आसन ग्रहण केलेलं आहे। मी सर्व मान्यवरांना प्रामुख्याने आजच्या या समारंभाचं दीक्षांत भाषण जे करणार आहेत असे पद्मविभूषण डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर सर, राजीव गांधी विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान आयोग मुंबई यांना विनंती करतो आणि इतर सर्व मान्यवर उपस्थित मान्यवरांना विनंती करतो की कृपया आजच्या या विद्यापीठाच्या 7व्या दीक्षांत समारंभाचा शुभारंभ दीप प्रज्वलनाने करावा।
All the dignitaries on the dais are requested for the lighting of ceremonial lamp and the recitation of Saraswati Stavan.
हे सरस्वती शारदे माता सरस्वती शारदे तू ही दाता तू विधाता तू ही जननी तू ही माता विद्येचे वरदान तू विद्येचे वरदान तू ही विश्वरूपी ज्ञान देई हे सरस्वती शारदे माता सरस्वती शारदे हे सरस्वती शारदे माता सरस्वती शारदे
धन्यवाद.
Thank you all.
व्यासपीठावर उपस्थित सर्व मान्यवर आणि दीक्षांत सभागृहात उपस्थित असलेल्या सर्वांना नम्र विनंती आहे की कृपया विद्यापीठ गीतासाठी आपण सर्वांनी आपापल्या जागी उभं
All,
राहावं.
all the dignitaries on the dais and the audience are requested to raise in their seats for the Gondwana University song. Thank you all.
आजच्या या समारंभाला प्रमुख अतिथी म्हणून लाभलेले राजीव गांधी विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान आयोग मुंबई येथील पद्मविभूषण सन्माननीय डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर सर यांचं विशेष सत्कार गोंडवाना विद्यापीठाचे कुलगुरू आदरणीय डॉक्टर एन व्ही कल्याणकर सर शाल श्रीफळ पुष्पगुच्छ आणि स्मृतिचिन्ह देऊन करतील अशी त्यांना विनंती करतो.
The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. N.V. Kalyankar, is requested
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir.
विद्यापीठाचे माननीय कुलसचिव डॉक्टर ईश्वर मोहुर्ले सर सन्माननीय कुलगुरू महोदयांना दीक्षांत समारंभ सुरू करण्याचे घोषणा करण्यास विनंती करतील अशी मी त्यांना विनंती करतो.
The respected registrar of the university, Dr. I.S. Moharle, will request to the Honorable Vice Chancellor to kindly declare the convocation open.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदयांना विनंती आहे. माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, दीक्षांत समारंभ सुरू झाल्याची घोषणा करावी.
विद्वज्जनो, आता दीक्षांत समारंभाला प्रारंभ होत आहे असे मी घोषित करतो.
धन्यवाद सर. माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय आजच्या या दीक्षांत समारंभाचं प्रास्ताविक तथा स्वागतपर भाषण करतील अशी विनंती करतो.
I request to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. N.V. Kalyankar, to deliver the welcome speech and present the report of the university.
Honorable Padma Vibhushan Dr. Anilji Kakodkar, Chairman Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Mumbai, Dr. Bhusari, Pro Vice Chancellor, Gondwana University, Dr. Moharle, Registrar of the University, Dr. C.D. Mai, Governor's nominee on the Management Council of the Gondwana University, dignitaries on the dais, deans of the different faculties of the Gondwana University, Management Council members, Academic Council members, Senate members, members of different bodies and authorities of the Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, members of different bodies of the affiliated colleges, donors, board members, and the representative of the management of the different colleges, principals, professors, members of the administrative staff of the Gondwana University, correspondents of print media, electronic media, and my dear students. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of Honorable Governor, State of Maharashtra, and on behalf of this university to the 7th convocation of Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. It is our great pleasure to have amongst us Dr. Anilji Kakodkar, who is a veteran Indian nuclear physicist, also ex-chairman of Atomic Energy Commission of Government of India, and presently the chairman of Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Maharashtra. I welcome Dr. Kakodkar and extend sincere gratitude on behalf of my colleagues in the university for his presence on this memorable and very auspicious occasion, that is the 7th convocation of Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. Sir, the focal urge to establish this university in this very border districts of a very developed state in the country was to fulfill the needs of socio-culturally diverse and educationally and economically underprivileged districts of Gadchiroli and Chandrapur. The jurisdiction of the university is predominantly tribal with low GR, that is gross enrollment ratio, and infant mortality rate. One of the major factors that can bring transformation in this new age in the overall condition of the tribal and underprivileged population is the only and only instrument is education. The university had in its genesis the solemn objective to encourage and develop capabilities of the youth through inculcating academic knowledge, professional skills, and moral values, and simultaneously encouraging the sports culture for the holistic human development. I would like to mention here that my students in this area are very hardworking, loyal, and honest, and I am really proud of them. The creation of Gondwana University has become a step forward in this state to achieve the desired developmental objectives through imparting knowledge, skills, and training to the deprived masses. In the context of post-liberation era, the university receives a unique socio-cultural and ecological taxonomy to impart teaching, research, and skills to the concerned stakeholders. Initially, the university commenced with 5 grant-in-aid departments. In due course of time, we have sent so many proposals to the state government for establishment of more than 22 departments. In the process of transition, Government of Maharashtra has sanctioned 7 new grant-in departments from last academic year, which include Department of Marathi, Mass Communication, Applied Economics, Management, Computer Science, Physics and Chemistry. The University Development Plan sets out with guiding principles to provide teaching, research and extension, TRE, with interdisciplinary approach, having thrust on regionally and nationally relevant issues. The university has taken forward a step to get recognition of 12B of UGC. Recently, the team has visited to the campus of the university, and I am happy to announce here that they have positively recommended to the commission to grant the 12B status to this university. I am sure that this will open the doors for the infrastructural and academic facilities not only to the university departments but also to the affiliated colleges. In order to create a cutting-edge physical infrastructure and to establish beautiful campus of the university at Mauza Adpalli on the Nagpur road, nearly 5 kilometers from present campus, we have acquired 35 acres of land out of 190 acres of land which has been proposed to be allocated to this university. Examination and evaluation plays an important role in the functioning of the university. I am extremely elated to add that the university is effectively implemented Rajesh Agrawal Committee recommendations of examination reforms. During the year, university has successfully conducted online PET examination, which will open new horizons for innovative research in the region. At this event, I am delighted to announce that in today's convocation, 21 research scholars will be getting their PhD degree in different streams. The university has set a benchmark in declaring in-time results of various examinations conducted by the university, which has been recognized even by the Chancellor's office. In the endeavor towards academic and administrative excellence, the university has taken a step forward to access and assess affiliated colleges through academic audit as per the guidelines of Maharashtra Public University Act 2016, and ours is the first university to complete as per the timeline. The year 1920 experienced many endeavors from our part. I would like to point out major achievement of the university, like organizing workshop on developing modalities for streamlining Tribal Research Center, provided cumulative financial support of rupees 14.25 lakhs for 18 research projects by 20 faculties of the university and affiliated colleges, which is unique in the universities of Vidarbha region. Recruitment of professors, associate professors and administrative staff in the university. Organized state-level cultural event Indradhanusha 2019, which is initiated by the Office of the Honorable Chancellor of the universities in the state of Maharashtra, and also first time a national event korfball tournament, and in this tournament university has bagged the second prize in the event. We have organized a focused workshop for all the stakeholders of the university on the Vision 25, one-day workshops sponsored by NAC on revised accreditation framework for the benefit of the stakeholders, that is university departments and the affiliated colleges. As well, we have introduced 16 skill-based certificate courses at 5 affiliated colleges to cater the needs of the region and incorporate the scheme of additional credits which we are going to incorporate in their March memo from the forthcoming academic session. The university has already initiated a new state-of-art examination building which will enable to create more precision and competence in the university examination system. As well, it will fulfill the dire need of infrastructure of the university. University, in collaboration with Tribal Research and Training Institute, Pune, has established competitive examination center for scheduled tribe. And I am very happy to inform you that within a short span of 1 year, 6 students have successfully passed different competitive examinations. The most important part of the today's function and the event which is proposed just after the convocation function is that we are going to inaugurate the Science and Technology Resource Center, which the Science and Technology Center is an autonomous institute at Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, conceived and funded in year 2013-14 by Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Mumbai, is entrusted with generating livelihood opportunities for deploying appropriate science and technology particularly for the marginalized and tribal communities of Gadchiroli region. STRC has taken initiative to start undergraduate one-year diploma program in bamboo entrepreneurship and design and joint project with MAFSU, Nagpur on fish production, ornamental fish rearing unit through local women at Nimga, Dhanora. They are also planning to develop model bamboo craft village at Kondavai by creating a cadre of young trained artisans and establishment of a common facility center. In order to strengthening functioning of STRC, also associating with National Medicinal Plant Board, Ministry of Ayush, for a regional and facilitation center in medicinal plants to promote applied interdisciplinary research ecosystem in the region. I am proud to announce that STRC is introducing STRC Assistance for Science and Technology Application Scheme 2020 for faculties, students and researchers to be formally launched today. We have to develop knowledge connectivity among the learners that progresses core competence of the rural environment with additional to technology. I would like to congratulate all the degree holders for the successful completion of their course. I believe that this convocation is a significant milestone in your life. The degrees and awards earned by you through your hard work and dedication is a moment of pride for you, your teachers and your parents. I wish you appreciation for knowledge, aspiration for knowledge will continue through your personal and professional life. Renowned social reformer of this soil, Baba Amte used to say that confidence must be in your wrist. Once again, I would like to express my sincere thanks to the esteemed dignitaries, the deans of various faculties, members of the Senate, Management Council, Academic Council, the chairman and members of various board of studies, the office bearers of educational institutions, principals, distinguished delegates, teachers, members of the non-teaching staff, students, reporters, media correspondents, invited guests, and well-wishers of this university for being present on this delighted occasion. Thank you so much for your time with all of us, and a very good and healthy day. Thank you very much.
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you very much, sir.
सन्माननीय कुलगुरू महोदयांना विनंती आहे की आचार्य पदवीकरिता पात्र ठरलेल्या पदवीकांक्षींना प्रस्तुत करण्याकरिता संबंधित विद्याशाखांच्या अधिष्ठात्यांना सूचना करतील.
The Honorable Vice Chancellor is requested to instruct the concerned deans of various faculties to present the PhD awardees.
विविध विद्याशाखांमध्ये आचार्य पदवीकरिता पात्र ठरलेल्या पदवीकांक्षींना संबंधित विद्याशाखांचे अधिष्ठाता प्रस्तुत करतील.
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर S.B. रेवतकर माननीय अधिष्ठाता विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान विद्याशाखा हे कार्यक्रम पत्रिकेनुसार 12 विद्यार्थ्यांची नावे आचार्य पदवीकरिता घोषित करतील.
The respected Dean of the Faculty of Science and Technology, Dr. S.B. Revatkar, will announce the names of 12 students for the award of PhD degree.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान विद्याशाखेतील आचार्य पदवीकरता पात्र ठरलेले हे पदवीकांक्षी आपणासमोर सादर करण्याची अनुज्ञा असावी. यांना आचार्य पदवी देण्याचा आपण अनुग्रह करावा अशी आपणास प्रार्थना आहे. श्री चन्नागाला सत्यनारायण इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजिनिअरिंग या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Channa Gala Satyanarayan, PhD in Electrical Engineering.
कुमारी शीतल शामराव खेकारे प्राणीशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
कुमारी शीतल शामराव खेकारे अनुपस्थित.
कुमारी पूजा इंद्रजीत खापर्डे प्राणीशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Kumari Pooja Indrajit Khaparde, PhD in Zoology.
कुमारी वर्षा व्ही बनकर रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
कुमारी वर्षा व्ही बनकर
श्री इशाक ए खान गणित या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Absent.
कुमारी अरुणा निलेश शेंडे वनस्पतिशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
अरुणा निलेश शेंडे.
श्री सतीश शामराव कोला रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Satish Shamrao Kola, PhD in Chemistry.
कुमारी अश्विनी माधवराव कडू रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
कुमारी अश्विनी माधवराव कडू.
श्री रविकांत डी आर पी मिश्रा गणित या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Absent.
श्री प्रणव वसंत मंडल रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
श्री प्रणव वसंत मंडल.
श्री राजू साधूजी पिदुरकर रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Raju Sadhuji Pidurkar, PhD in Chemistry.
श्री मेघराज बापूरावजी देवासे रसायनशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
श्री मेघराज बापूरावजी देवासे. धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर जी एफ सूर्या माननीय अधिष्ठाता वाणिज्य व व्यवस्थापन विद्याशाखा हे कार्यक्रम पत्रिकेनुसार 2 विद्यार्थ्यांची नावे आचार्य पदवीकरिता घोषित करतील.
The respected Dean of the Faculty of Commerce and Management, Dr. J.F. Surya, will now announce the name of 2 students for the award of PhD degree.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, वाणिज्य व व्यवस्थापन विद्याशाखेतील आचार्य पदवीकरिता पात्र ठरलेले हे पदविकांची आपणासमोर सादर करण्याची अनुज्ञा असावी. यांना आचार्य पदवी देण्याचा आपण अनुग्रह करावा अशी आपणास प्रार्थना आहे. श्री शरद नारायण जिचकार व्यवसाय व्यवस्थापन आणि व्यवसाय प्रशासन या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Sharad Narayan Jizkar.
कुमारी उज्ज्वला जगन्नाथ सारडा,
कुमारी
वाणिज्य
उज्ज्वला जगन्नाथ सारडा अनुपस्थित. धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर एस एस कावडे, माननीय अधिष्ठाता मानव विज्ञान हे कार्यक्रम पत्रिकेनुसार मानव विज्ञान विद्याशाखेतील 7 विद्यार्थ्यांची नावे आचार्य पदवीकरिता घोषित करतील.
The respected Dean of the Faculty of Humanities, Dr. S.S. Kavade, will announce the names of 7 students for the award of PhD degree.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, मानव विज्ञान विद्याशाखेतील आचार्य पदवीकरता पात्र ठरलेले हे पदविकांक्षी आपणासमोर सादर करण्याची अनुज्ञा असावी. यांना आचार्य पदवी देण्याचा आपण अनुग्रह करावा अशी आपणास प्रार्थना आहे. कुमारी सीमा भास्कर सैदाने, राज्यशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Kumari Seema Bhaskar Sendane, PhD in Political Science.
श्री राहुल प्रकाश चुटे, राज्यशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
श्री राहुल प्रकाश चुटे.
श्री भगवान विश्वनाथ धोटे, राज्यशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Bhagwan Vishwanath Dhote, PhD in Political Science.
श्री विलास काशीराम गायधने, इतिहास या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
विलास काशीराम गायधने.
श्री गिरधर केशव कुनघाडकर, अर्थशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Giridhar Keshav Kunghadkar, PhD in Economics.
श्री पंकज नागोराव बेंदेवार, अर्थशास्त्र या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
श्री पंकज नागोराव बेंदेवार.
श्री शाहबाज अजीजुल हक, इंग्रजी या विषयात आचार्य पदवी.
Shri Shahbaz Azizul Haq, PhD in English.
थँक यू.
Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद सर. सन्माननीय कुलगुरू डॉक्टर NV कल्याणकर सर पदवीकांक्षींना उपदेश करतील हे विनंती.
I request to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. N.V. Kalyankar, to make the announcement and to exhort the graduates.
विद्वज्जनो, विद्यापीठाचा कुलगुरू या नात्याने मी विद्यापीठाच्या विविध विद्याशाखांमधील हिवाळी 2018 व उन्हाळी 2019 या परीक्षांमध्ये उत्तीर्ण झालेल्या सर्व उपस्थित आणि अनुपस्थित पदवीकांक्षींना त्या पदव्या आणि पदव्युत्तर पदविका देऊन सन्मानित करतो, अभिनंदन करतो. तुम्ही आयुष्यभर शब्दांनी आणि कृतीने त्या पदव्या आणि पदव्युत्तर पदविकांना पात्र असल्याचे सिद्ध करीत राहा.
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you very much, sir.
विद्यापीठाच्या 7व्या दीक्षांत समारंभाचे प्रमुख अतिथी पद्मविभूषण डॉक्टर अनिल काकोडकर साहेब, अध्यक्ष राजीव गांधी विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान आयोग मुंबई यांना नम्र विनंती करतो की ते या दीक्षांत समारंभाचं दीक्षांत भाषण करतील.
Now I kindly request to the chief guest, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Anil Kakodkar, the Honorable Chairman, Rajiv Gandhi Science and Technology Commission, Mumbai, Government of India, to deliver the convocation address.
Professor Kalyankar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Gondwana University, Gadchiroli, Dr. Bhusari, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. Muhurle, Honorable Registrar, my colleague and friend, Dr. Mai, distinguished members of Senate, Management Council and Academic Council, deans, other members of faculty, all other colleagues associated with the university, dear students, especially those who are graduating today, their parents present here, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. I am indeed delighted to be amongst you for this 7th convocation of the university. I have had the good fortune of being connected with this university in its efforts to contribute to the development of the region, and so I am very happy to be here for this convocation. I wish to express my gratitude to the university for this opportunity. This university, in my view, is very special. It's relatively new. It caters to the needs of one of the most forested area with primarily tribal population. Since knowledge is the key to societies moving forward, here is the opportunity for this university to take this area forward, bridging the existing gap, not just with urban India, but also with the most advanced in the world. Sustainable use of rich resources available here and capacity building of the youth to do so, as well as for leveraging the opportunities of the emerging knowledge era, is the route to success in this regard. While doing so, we should always remember the value of local traditions and culture and endeavor to sustain and nourish them. That should be integral part of our human development efforts. Convocation Day is a special day in the calendar of an institution of learning. It marks the culmination of a phase of learning, and after having satisfied that the student is now ready to face and contribute to the world at large in the chosen domain of learning and training as a worthy individual, the elders give the final advice and blessings for further journey that the student is embarking upon. It is a solemn occasion for students and also for the teachers. The bond between the teachers and the student that is supposed to have been built through years of mentoring brings in an emotional content to the convocation day. I wish to use this occasion to thank the teachers who in their own way have contributed to shaping the young minds while they are with the university. My congratulations to all students graduating today. Some of you who have been specially recognized deserve our highest appreciation. All of you have gone through your respective courses of study and have been adjudged to be worthy of the degrees that have been awarded to you. You are now ready to face the exciting world out there. As an educated individual, you have to be an important part of the nation building process through your respective capabilities that you have acquired here. Today, there is ample scope for innovation and entrepreneurship. The way our country is evolving, opportunities for the capable ones will continuously expand. I wish all of you graduating today a very successful career ahead. May all your dreams be fully realized. I want to use this occasion to talk about a few important aspects. First, about the knowledge empowerment of youth in the local context, which I consider to be the key to success in the knowledge era. Knowledge evolution has been central to well-being and prosperity of societies. In the context of knowledge era that is fast emerging, this has become crucially important. Economy of nations and societies and their relative competitive advantage is now strongly linked to their capability with respect to knowledge and knowledge products. Raw materials, human resource, and technologies are the three basic ingredients to support economic activities and wealth creation. Leveraging latest knowledge is the key to maximize gains in respect of all the three. Our demography is very favorable and is potentially the engine of our growth. Sustaining our growth and our relative competitive advantage, however, depends on the level of knowledge empowerment of our people and their ability to leverage knowledge and knowledge products. This is a major challenge for our education and science and technology system. The challenge is even bigger in the context of rural and tribal India, where majority of Indians live even today. India was known to be the richest country in the world till about 1700 CE. India was also a seat of knowledge with strong cultural and trade influence the world over. The decline of Indian economy in relative terms roughly coincides with the later part of Mughal and the subsequent British rule over India. This was also the period over which the Industrial Revolution took shape. One can conjecture that India could not withstand the competition posed by the industrial era. While there may be a variety of factors beyond the control of the Indian society that was under the foreign rule that led to this situation in a country that was a leader in knowledge and technologies of the time, we now need to recognize the new opportunities and new challenges of the emerging knowledge era and ensure that independent India does not lag behind in the new competitive environment. We also need to build more robust systems and structures that are not vulnerable to negative influences arising out of external and internal factors that may arise. Expectedly, thanks to our large youth population, presently the relative GDP of India has started showing signs of improvement in independent India. Ensuring a quality of life of our people at a level commensurate with the best in the world would, however, necessitate our per capita GDP to match at least in dollar purchase parity terms. with per capita GDP in those advanced countries. There are, however, a number of structural and policy corrections as well as a deep-seated socio-cultural transformations, particularly in the education, research and innovation domain, that are necessary to ensure that we can sustain the relative global competition even as India approaches the top slot in just overall GDP terms to begin with. Efficient translation of new knowledge to competitive products is thus the key to success in today's interdependent world. We need to be able to build a competitive technological edge to win this competition. Clearly, education, research and innovation framework in the country is crucial factor in our ability to succeed in the new paradigm and move towards the top slot even in per capita GDP terms. Sui generis understanding of technologies enable robust decision making that avoid vulnerabilities that can arise out of vendor driven decision making about technology choices and related policies. Most importantly, technology empowers citizens and societies. This, however, is a double-edged matter. Along with induction of technologies, there is also a need to prepare societies to comprehend the impact of new technologies and recognize issues of ethics and value systems that are involved. Sustaining and cultivating constructive mindset in the context of new technologies, particularly among the youth, must keep pace with emergence of new technologies on the scene. While there is recognition of the importance of high quality in education, high excellence in research, and a conducive innovation ecosystem for national economy, our education and research outcomes are far short of the desirable expectations in this context. In the context of our higher and more particularly technical education, employers often find not able to find employable candidates even as there are a very large number of unemployed graduates. Most of our higher education institutions do not do any significant research. There are a few institutions where good research does take place. However, even here, translation of research outcomes to marketable technology products is far from being satisfactory. There is thus an urgent need to enhance the level of excellence as well as a rethink in orientation of our education, research and innovation ecosystem such that our youth can realize their full potential and simultaneously enable access to such quality education and research opportunities to all, bridging the urban-rural as well as the rich-poor divide. Let me now talk more specifically about the rural and tribal development. Rural development in India needs to be given a special focus. 2/3 of India lives in villages with less than half per capita income as compared to urban areas. Bridging the urban-rural divide, at least in terms of livelihood opportunities, is thus a matter of urgent necessity in our country. The emerging era of knowledge-driven economy that facilitates democratization and decentralization of economic activities is a great opportunity for transformation of rural horizon, not only to match up with the Indian urban domain, but also the most advanced in the world. The prerequisite, however, is to prepare the rural youth to leverage the opportunities of knowledge era and value add agro as well as non-agro raw materials, as well as contribute to required services. Seen in this context, it is pertinent to note that there are larger opportunities that rural youth can in principle leverage as compared to their urban cousins. Sillage, a knowledge integrated sustainable village development model, aims to leverage new and appropriate knowledge based technologies, including some created locally, to create additional and higher level livelihood opportunities in villages that would also cover manufacturing and service sector activities, in addition to, of course, the traditional agriculture and allied activities. In the Sillage concept, a local knowledge institutions serving as knowledge partner for development hosts a science and technology resource center like the one you have here, STRC. The center is linked with local community institutions and NGOs. It works for development of appropriate technologies for enhanced livelihood and related education and knowledge support in the neighborhood. To facilitate sustained and comprehensive engagement between STRC and the neighborhood, a number of sub-centers need to be established in proximity with existing schools, because school education also needs to be impacted consistent with the needs of knowledge era. STRC and the sub-centers would be the bridge between the knowledge institutions, for example, this university, and the neighborhood to spread knowledge, technology-enabled livelihood, ICT-enabled school education, and so on one side, and solving problems in implementation of new technologies and search for new research and development problems on the other. STRC as a bridge between academic system of the university and the neighborhood should contribute to development on both sides in a more fundamental way. The ecosystem so created could also participate in deployment of other government schemes in a manner that maximizes the benefits. The spread of technology adoption and continuous access to new technologies should create better livelihood opportunities in rural domain that eventually compare well with the opportunities in urban domain, thus leading to convergence of best in the city, that is opportunities for self-progress, modern infrastructure around a knowledge institution, etc., and the best of a village that is clean, calm, and eco as well as human-friendly environment. Thus, the selected cluster of villages, Sillage, around a vibrant knowledge institution can be expected to become preferred working destination for young, innovative and creative generation for leveraging human and raw material resources on one side and new knowledge technologies on the other. Sillage thus could become places better than both the cities as well as the villages, and may become the preferred habitat for new age society in most of the emerging India. I am happy that Science Technology Resource Center here at Gondwana University, Gadchiroli is active in this context and is taking good shape. I do hope that sooner than later, the emerging Sillage ecosystem here would start delivering higher and higher livelihood to local community, better and locally relevant academic content to academic community, both at higher education and school education level, and hands-on skill training training level as well. Similar experiments are being tried out at a few other places in Maharashtra to test out the concept under diverse conditions. Let me now move on to the third topic that I wish to discuss, and that is nurturing a culture of innovation in schools and colleges. To prepare younger generation to be effective participant of the emerging knowledge society and nurture a spirit of innovation, we need to pay attention to them right from their time in the schools and colleges. The learning environment around them should be capable of nurturing their inquisitiveness, addressing their curiosity, preparing them to recognize the challenges in the area, and converting them into opportunities. For this purpose, apart from their formal structured engagement for learning science and other disciplines, students should have access to science innovation activity centers that enable self-learning and understanding of science concepts through unstructured, hands-on experimental science on one hand and hands-on livelihood-related activity-based learning on the other. Such SIACs should be established, at least one in every district, and be accessible to students in a time-sharing mode. Facilities like Science Technology Resource Center could enable livelihood activity-related training. The two, that is STRC and Science Innovation Activity Centers together, along with education institutions, could significantly contribute to the holistic empowerment of the youth. The spirit of innovation not only entails ideas to address a challenge, but to create a new improvement, but more importantly, the innovation really entails the ability to successfully implement the idea to its logical end. Today we have a large number of MSME units that have a number of technical problems that they are not able to attend because of their difficulties either related to working capital or availability of qualified engineers. Most of these problems are well within the capability of engineering college students who in their own way are required to do project work in industry as a part of their curriculum requirements. It is thus important that as a part of this requirement, the students are mentored to actually solve a problem in industry. Quite apart from meeting an important industry need, such opportunity for students would also be a valuable learning experience in terms of solving real-life problems, leveraging the knowledge acquired by them in the college or university. Such MSME internship scheme aimed at actual problem solving in industry for engineering college students has been piloted by RGSTC. There is a need to scale this activity up to reach throughout the country through appropriate government schemes. It is clear that we need to do a lot in terms of knowledge empowerment of our society. Taking into account our large youth population, large disparities in terms of learning opportunities, rapidly growing influence of knowledge on economy, and imperatives of being competitive in view of our large domestic market, there is an urgent need to prepare our society to be ready to meet challenges and benefit from the opportunities of the emerging knowledge era. We can't afford to lose out the way we did during the industrial era. Knowledge, society, and economy together form a three-legged stool. Society and economy invariably remain connected. That's an imperative for human survival. While that may sustain trade, without knowledge linkages, the value and wisdom could be a casualty. Knowledge is therefore an essential element for stabilization, sustenance, and growth. A deeper engagement of knowledge with society as well as economy also contributes to technology that makes both society and economy stronger along with deeper values and wisdom. Let me conclude now. I do wish all of you would give some serious thought to what I have said above and decide your respective course of action. It should be our collective endeavor to progressively move towards making the world a better place to live. Through a lifelong learning process and maintaining knowledge institutions, industry, and the society interconnected with each other, each one of us, regardless of the career we decide to pursue, can meaningfully contribute to this objective. After all, we are all in this world here to play our respective roles. Our happiness and joy of life depends on how well we play our roles. To dear students, I once again wish all of you well in your respective further pursuits. I am certain you would rise progressively in your respective careers. I do hope that as you rise, you will retain in you a spirit of trusteeship and contribute substantially to your roots, the society around, the institutions that brought you up, and the nation at large. It is the spirit of trusteeship and the desire to support others who were not as fortunate or as successful as us that makes this world a better place. We must remember that our happiness depends on happiness all around us. Once again, my best wishes to you all. Thank you.
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you very much, sir.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, प्रावीण्य प्राप्त स्नातकांना माननीय प्रमुख अतिथींद्वारा प्रमाणपत्र व सुवर्ण पदक वितरण हेतू विविध परीक्षांमध्ये प्रथम आलेल्या व सुवर्ण पदक प्राप्त पदवीकांक्षींना प्रस्तुत करण्याकरिता संबंधित
विविध विद्याशाखांमध्ये पात्र ठरलेल्या पदवीकांक्षींना व विविध परीक्षांमध्ये सर्वप्रथम आलेल्या सुवर्ण पदक प्राप्त पदवीधारकांना संबंधित विद्याशाखांचे अधिष्ठाता प्रमाणपत्र व सुवर्ण पदकाकरता प्रस्तुत करतील.
धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you, sir.
डॉक्टर एस बी रेवतकर, माननीय अधिष्ठाता विज्ञान व तंत्रज्ञान विद्याशाखा, हे कार्यक्रम पत्रिकेनुसार 33 विद्यार्थ्यांची नावे प्रमाणपत्र व सुवर्ण पदकाकरिता घोषित करतील.
The respected Dean
प्रमाणपत्र व सुवर्ण पदकाकरिता घोषित करतील.
The respected Dean of the Faculty of Interdisciplinary Studies, Dr. S.M. Sakure, will announce the names of 10 meritorious students for the award of certificates and gold medals.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, आंतरविद्याशाखीय अभ्यास विद्याशाखेतील पदवी, पदव्युत्तर पदवी व पदविका अभ्यासक्रमातून प्रथम गुणवत्ता प्राप्त तसेच सुवर्ण पदक प्राप्त पदविकांक्षी आपणासमोर सादर करण्याची अनुज्ञा असावी. यांना गुणवत्ता प्रमाणपत्र व सुवर्ण पदक प्राप्त पदविकांक्षींना सुवर्ण पदक देण्याचा आपण अनुग्रह करावा अशी आपणास प्रार्थना. फुले आंबेडकर कॉलेज ऑफ सोशल वर्क गडचिरोली येथील श्री सुशील पुरुषोत्तम हुलके आंतरविद्याशाखीय अभ्यास स्नातक बॅचलर ऑफ सोशल वर्क परीक्षेत सर्वाधिक गुण प्राप्त केल्याबद्दल गुणवत्ता प्रमाणपत्र.
सुशील पुरुषोत्तम विद्यापीठाचे कुलसचिव माननीय डॉक्टर ईश्वर मोहुर्ले सर माननीय कुलगुरू महोदयांना दीक्षांत समारंभ समाप्त झाल्याची घोषणा करण्याची विनंती करतील. ही विनंती.
The respected registrar will request to the Honorable Vice Chancellor to declare the closing of convocation ceremony.
माननीय कुलगुरू महोदय, मी आपणास नम्र विनंती करतो, कृपया आपण दीक्षांत समारंभ समाप्त झाल्याची घोषणा करावी.
दीक्षांत समारंभ समाप्त झाला असे मी घोषित करीत आहे.
सभागृहात उपस्थित असणाऱ्या सर्वांना नम्र विनंती आहे की कृपया राष्ट्रगीतासाठी आपण आपापल्या जागी उभं राहावं.
The respected dais and the invitees in the hall are requested to rise in the seats for the national anthem.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you all.
सभागृहात उपस्थित असणाऱ्या सर्वांना विनंती आहे की कृपया माननीय कुलगुरू, माननीय प्रकुलगुरू, माननीय मुख्य अतिथी, कुलसचिव, विद्याशाखांचे अधिष्ठाता आणि व्यवस्थापन परिषदेचे सन्माननीय सदस्य एकत्रित मिरवणुकीने सभागृहाच्या बाहेर पडतील. जोपर्यंत मान्यवर बाहेर पडणार नाही तोपर्यंत आपण सर्वांनी सभागृहात उपस्थित राहायचं आहे, उभं राहायचं आहे. धन्यवाद.
All the invitees and guests are requested to remain standing. The procession is existing in a reverse order.